Hello, welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and today we're back in the home studio. We've got a guest in the home studio. None of this Skyping nonsense anymore. The last one I did on the Skype, Matt Grant, he recorded on his end, so it sounded like we were in the same room because you couldn't see the seams. But we've got our proper guest here. It's a returning guest, a good buddy of ours, and he was a birthday boy yesterday.
Oh, yes.
It was. Oh, don't talk before your intro, mate.
Oh, that's right.
Dale Williams, how you going, buddy?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Every time I come here, it's pissing down with rain.
Oh, that's true. It did rain last time, didn't it?
Yeah, I said last time I bought the Camino weather, so I've done it again.
I think you brought the Hoth weather out there now because it is bloody freezing. I know our friend Jess Schrader right now is laughing in our faces because we had that whole discussion about, I don't know cold because I don't live in, Minnesota. I've got that where it's really cold, but hey, it's cold for us. 3 degrees or something it's out there.
Well, it's even longer winter for you with Chicago.
Yeah.
It started super early.
That's true. Those few days. So I don't have to worry. Now, before we go any further, it is your birthday. I've got some presents for you.
What?
I've got presents for you.
I love presents.
I've got presents. Some of these presents are actually just open it. You can see what's in the bag here. Some presents. You can open it up and see what you've got.
One of us.
The very last beanie from Celebration.
I am officially a member of the Star Wars Spelt Out Club now.
No, that is. I've been saying the last for a long time, but that is actually the last one.
What's this?
So what you've got there, this is really great for a visual, man. These are stickers that I've got from Celebration. So there's a couple of our friends in there. Some artwork from our buddy Chris Hall that he's done in there. There's a couple of Rogue One stickers repping Hawes and Johnny Grasso and Mike Pappas, and I think there might be a Bad Motivators on there. So just some of the excess stickers and things for Celebration. Make it feel like you were there. That's your Choose Luke T-shirt you actually paid for, so that's not really a present at all.
Since I forgot about it.
Thank you for your money.
It feels like it. Awesome.
You've got that. And
something I left at the bar.
And something that you left at the bar. So
who leaves a Star Wars Black Series at a bar and calls themselves a fan?
I brought it all the way over to you, and then you just went and left it at the bar, just like that.
Wasn't even drunk.
Wasn't even drunk. You had to drive home. So that's the last of the beanies. So they're all exhausted. I've already now the dates for Celebration 2020 have been announced. I'm looking at you. You're looking at me. You know what I'm about to ask you.
It's so intimidating. Like just the whole, it seems like so much fun, but just seems so hectic. It's going to be a big no for me only because it's my daughter's 21st birthday.
Oh, she understands.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And so that's sort of right around that time. So that's a no, but I reckon I'm in for the next one because it's probably not going to be 2021, is it? They'll probably have a break.
Well, we thought there'd be a gap next year because we thought, no movie next year. What are they going to do? But they're fronting up, so I think it's going to be. I guess it'll be TV stuff. So it'll be like Mandalorian season 2, Cassian. They said there's another TV project coming in, Resistance, everything else. So there'll be enough, but they're only doing 4 days this time, not 5. So in Chicago, they had the 4 days, and they had 5 days. Sorry, one was a preview day. So the Thursday was just like come around, walk the floor. There's no panels on. You can just look in the shops and do that kind of thing, which was quite good for us because we'd just gone there. We get the lay of the land. We didn't know what to expect. This time, it's like, well, if you've got more days, fine. But if they get rid of the preview days, I don't think it'll be as intimidating. You'll be like, all right, I know the deal. I can just get in and go. So we. Our little crew who went last time on the little Facebook thing, and when are these dates coming? And the dates dropped, and all of a sudden the Facebook messages start coming in. It's like, what's going on? What's going on?
And how long did it take you to book accommodation?
I think it took us. It was probably less than 6 hours. I think after the announcement made. So there was. I was working, and then some of the people in the group were sort of exchanging messages and things, and going through, and they were going, what about this? And it's going to have to be hotels because it's Disney. And then somebody put an article saying, California doesn't like Airbnb. It's like, well, Airbnb is out. And I just went, well, let's just chill. People have been trying to kick out Airbnb everywhere forever, and it never happens, you know. And if it did happen, it'd be years of legislation. Like, Airbnb is still in the mix here. So, and then they said, oh, somebody says that they've already got something, and all these messages are flying through. And the dates have just been out. Tickets aren't even on sale yet. It's 15 months out or something. And I went, all right, you know what? I'm just going to jump on Airbnb. I'm going to have a little looky-loo and see what there is.
Yeah.
You know, so you get the old map out. And then, yeah, looked, and there was Disney's here, and the exhibition centre is, like, right next to it. And then there's the streets here, and there was, like, houses. And I go, oh, there's a house that seats the amount of people. The money's reasonable. It's comparable to what we paid in Chicago, much cheaper than a hotel. And I just copied the thing, and I put it in, and I said, what do you think about this, guys? And people were like, oh, my God, like, what do you think we should do it? We should do it. And I said, all right, look, I'm just going to book it. It's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. If it gets cancelled on us, it gets cancelled on us. But I think it's less likely.
Again?
Well, I just think it's less likely because Disney's there.
Yeah.
This is just a professional thing that happens all the time. Like, I think we got done in Chicago because I think they realised, oh, Star Wars is in town. I can make more money. Ching, ching. I'm going to cancel and relist.
You're probably right with the new location.
And because it's just purely to facilitate people in Disney. They're just like, well, we're busy all the time. Star Wars being in town does not affect us one way or the other. It's not all of a sudden the demand is the same because people want to go to Disney. So I just said, look, I'll book it. I've got 10 months to cancel if something changes or longer. I think you've got like up to 2 months before, or maybe even more. And then we can just worry about the rest later. You know, this is the general gist of the people who want to come. If somebody drops off, given that it's right across the road from Disneyland,
you're not going to have any problems.
We're not going to have any troubles filling it. So that's kind of where it is. So the tickets go on sale on Saturday morning, 2 a.m. here.
Wow.
So, I mean, I think last time I just, got up. I was at work and just, when I got up at a normal time, I just bought them and it was fine. And you could actually buy them, a couple of days out and there was still stuff available. But I feel like not wanting to risk anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, is kind of
how lucky were you guys that this year? Like, it's just amazing. Like, getting the panels you wanted to, the whole thing. It just went so swimmingly for you.
Yeah, it really did. It couldn't have gone any better, I think. And I think now, like, if we get to Anaheim next year and we don't get into the panels, I don't think it'll be a bummer, but it won't really matter as much because you kind of go, oh, well, now we know all the other stuff and all the things that go with it, and all the crew that are going to be there as well, and it's going to be a different vibe, because the other time you're kind of going like, oh, I really hope it works out that everyone's as cool as they are, and and I'd have a few people on the pod and stuff, and you still don't know 100%. You're like, do people really want to hang and do things? And this time it's like, oh, great, I just get to hang with these people. Like, it's just like catching up with old friends, but real friends, not just in your head what you hope those friends will be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone seems so cool.
Yeah.
But you know what was cool? What I did while you were at Celebration?
Yes, tell me.
I played Where's Wally by watching the live stream to look for the beanies.
Yeah. Yeah, they turned up a fair bit.
They did, didn't they? Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah, I was pretty chuffed with that. So, yeah, it was just the perfect storm of the weather was rubbish and they were hard. So everybody wore them. It was cold outside and it was a little Where's Wally. There's always somebody you could sort of spot.
It was amazing. And how do you top that, though?
Yeah, I've got an idea. I'll tell you off air. Not that no one really cares, but I already started thinking. Of course, as soon as it started, they said Anaheim. I'm like going, Anaheim, all right. It's going to be 30 degrees every day. So, like, beanies are off the table. I even put a little poll out going, hey, should we do beanies again, even though it's going to be hot? And there were a few people just like, I missed out. I want one, or I just want to have one. But most people will be kind of like...
That's right. If anyone wants one, it'll be on eBay later tonight. And they're going for a good price. No.
That's better. I just had this horrible fear that I was going to walk out of the convention center and just find one on, like, in the gutter or something like that. I'm like, because I consciously... 95% of the beanies went to friends.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of randoms who got them. One dude specifically was just like, please, I just really want one. And that was sort of early. I think it might have been the first or second day it was there, and I was carrying this bag of them. I just want to get rid of them, because I kind of just got to offload these things. And then I think there was a girl who was she was like a young girl. She's probably like 7 or 8 or something. And I was having lunch and on the table upstairs, and I was just eating my lunch, and there was like a mum there and with her daughter, and they were in all their Star Wars gear and stuff. And I just started chatting, and she's just going, "Oh, I've just been going around. My thing is I'm just collecting swag. I've been going to this thing. I got this and this." She had like a huge bag of like everything that she had, and I went, "Bet you don't have one of these." And I said, you can have one if you like, because I had a whole stack of them still then. And she's like, "Oh yeah, that'd be great," and gave it off and didn't see her. And then on the last day, on the Monday, I was walking around towards the end of the thing, and I saw her walk by, and she had the beanie on. She was wearing the beanie around on the thing, and I was walking past, and I just said, "Oh, hello, you still wearing the beanie?" And she said, "Yeah." She's like, "People keep asking where to get them from."
You could have set up a stall, but now it's become like Willy Wonka's chocolate bar that.
Yeah, well, it was just like the thing, it had its little moment, and it's ridiculous to try and do
limited
again.
edition.
Yeah, like I'll do something, and I've got some ideas. I'm probably going to have to get people to pay for something this time, but I think I'll try and keep it to sort of $10-15.
Yeah, generosity has limits, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's just practicalities.
And you've got to cart it all over there.
Yeah, as well. Well, I've already think about that. Like maybe I can get it shipped to the Airbnb. Maybe I can get it shipped. I got some. When I did the last run of T-shirts, I got them shipped to Luke Cruiser from Bad Motivator's place.
Oh, okay.
And he brought them in. But that was like a bag of T-shirts. Like, I haven't gone and talk about a box of something else. It might be people like, dude, we're friends, but let's not push it here too much. So
not doing warehousing for you.
Yeah. I'll let your bloody delivery driver. But actually, while you're here, there's a box sitting right here. This isn't more presents for you, but I haven't actually opened it, but I think I know what this is. So I thought it would be interesting if we just opened it. There's going to be a live unboxing. If this is going to work, I need someone with a knife or a set of keys or something. I didn't really think this through. What have I got? Here we go. Here he is.
Here we go.
Now, this will work better. So I'm just going to pop this here.
This is podcasting at its finest,
it
people.
It is. This could actually be something completely unrelated, but it's a box from Hasbro.
Wow.
That I ordered with some figures in here.
Ooh.
Because I couldn't get them in Australia. So let's just randomly... Oh, I'm already seeing a dented box at the top here, so I'm already mad, but that's okay. So what we've got, first one out of the cat, is a Han Solo Mud Trooper.
Oh, that's awesome, that one.
That Andy Campbell was chasing forever at Celebration, and I think they were like $70 or something they wanted at the time. Or they were hard to get there. I think they're a bit cheaper now, but...
It's a great costume, isn't it?
It's a great costume. It's a great looking figure. So I got him. We'll put him there. This is really fascinating. What have we got here? We've got Tobias Beckett.
Tobias Beckett, yeah.
A little bit more common to find, but still pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, great.
Looking pretty slick. I don't know that full head of hair though.
Yeah,
that ain't Woody's hair. That's not Woody's hair. We all know that. And we've got a clone Captain Rex. Quite a nice looking figure, actually.
Yeah, that's a good one. The detailing in the paintwork's so good now, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. I'm just looking, going, where the heck am I even going to put these? And we've got a Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Oh, wow, look at him.
He's a nice looking figure.
That looks great.
He does look very cool. So we'll pop him here. We've got 2 more here. People are just going, yeah, this is really exciting. Boxes. The man.
Oh, here he is. Mace Windu and the infamous purple lightsaber.
Yeah, he's even got like he's actually got a prop. It's kind of weird. Like sometimes they have like cloth outfits. Sometimes they have like molded cloth outfits. Like if you look at Woody Harrelson, like his jacket's just plastic. And then Mace Windu's got sort of like a molded cloak. It's weird that they sort of decide one way or the other.
You can't have a plastic Jedi cloak though,
can you?
That's
true. And now the last one, my favourite.
There's one more.
Is Wall Street Luke. With the slicked back hair. He's been in the trash compactor water. He's got the slicked back Wall Street hair.
I've got my eye on that one too. So.
Yeah. I could have ordered. Sorry, I didn't even ask. Right. So I ordered these from the UK. I can't remember the name of the site now, but it worked out to be quite cheap because I have a UK bank account as well, so I didn't have to pay so it worked out to be about $20 a figure, I think it was.
Well, the collection is really growing.
It is. It's getting somewhat out of control over there. I don't even know where I'm going to put these ones, to be honest, but... I think I'll I keep saying, I think I'll just wait till next year's celebration before I get more stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I'm getting the old...
Welcome to Star Wars hoarders.
Getting RDS, the old Reginald Dwight sickness, as the geek dudes would call it. You know, just keep shopping. So, yeah, anyway, we'll see. We'll see how we go. So how's your Star Wars... Where'd you see the trailer? Where did you get up and watch it, or did you just... wake up in the morning?
Yeah, I just woke up in the morning and watched it. I
just on the phone, or did you
no,
dim the lights
on the TV?
Yeah,
was thrilled with it. Absolutely thrilled with it. Gave me all the right kind of tingles, and then the laugh at the end was just.
You sort of like jumped out of your seat a little bit. Like,
I think I was just more shocked. I can't really grasp that episode 9's coming.
It's
true,
like
isn't the end of it all. It feels like, isn't it just the beginning? And
yeah, I mean, it's the end, but it's not the end, is it? Like, we know there's going to be more Star Wars.
I'm just not ready to say goodbye to the Skywalkers yet. There's going to be a few tears on opening night, I think. Yeah,
I've been asking this question in all the episodes, is can you end the saga with a Skywalker alive at the end of the movie? Do they have to eat it?
Yeah, I think you can end it with them alive. I think it's going to be difficult to kill off Leia, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because especially since they already shot their load early with the whole blowing her out of the ship. So that was a really nice, easy way if they were going to write her out.
Yeah. I talked about that when Tracy was on, and she sort of said a similar thing, and I said, but that seems even worse to cut half of her role out just to facilitate a character. You know what I mean? Like a character was like, actually she had a whole different thing, but we decided to kill her off.
Well, you wouldn't
imagine if they'd killed her off at the start and then someone said, they actually shot a thing where she didn't die and she flew into the ship. I'm like, what? That would have been weird. But
I mean, they can't use that again.
No, it would have to be more of a sleep kind of thing. Or I don't know. But is it a bit icky to have her die on screen now?
I think it is. I think just let her go on.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's remarked upon, when we pick up the story, when, the next episode 10 happens and it's a whole new set of whatever, we pick up and they go, Leia, she had a long and wonderful life and died in her sleep at the age 300 or something, or... And
30 other comics and books detailing her final years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I think I would prefer that rather than... Yeah, I can't think of a way I would be satisfied that wouldn't feel a bit,
Because it's different to Luke. Like, there's a potential to have Luke forever as the ghost hanging around.
Yeah. I think it's more just that Carrie's not around. I think if Carrie Fisher was alive and she shot her death scene, I think we'd be cool with it. If it got... I'd be way cooler with... I'd be cooler with it than, if she just sort of got to the end of it and they said, by the end of this trilogy, Han, Luke and Leia have all died and their story's closed and that we've wrapped up the 9 films and that's the end. I think it's more that Carrie's not around and then you do it afterwards and see the character die and know that she's not there. Although I guess it's no different than Last Jedi if you'd done it then. Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm thinking about it in that respect, you're going to go, it would have happened like that anyway, but... Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's really interesting what could have been. Like, we'll never know because of her, sad departure. We'll never know what 9 really was, what was planned for it.
Well, the funny thing is that the 9 as it was when she was alive, that script was thrown out. That was the Colin Trevorrow script. That was the episode 9 that was written with Leia while Carrie was alive. I think for the most part, anyway. And that was discarded. And then JJ started again. So when he took over 9, he knew that Carrie wasn't there.
Yeah.
So the sort of what ifs wouldn't have happened anyway. Like if Carrie had lived, Carrie was alive now, it wouldn't have made any difference because, they might have, obviously they would have, potentially could have written a different role for her, I suppose, is the different thing. But the script that as it was, I think would have, with her alive in mind. But they've obviously shaped it around whatever footage they've got of her or whatever she's doing.
Because it was very much Han's film, The Force Awakens, out of the the old school. Then Luke's Last Jedi. So one would think that Leia would have that that spotlight on her for Rise of Skywalker, but with the redemption of Ben or the death of Ben, or
which can still happen. I think it's very possible that she'll bookend this film.
You think?
To a degree, yeah. So
that'd be pretty emotional, wouldn't it?
that's what they're getting.
Powerful.
They're ready to get at. They're ready to
go, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe she doesn't have the last line, or she could have the last line, and she could just be like, "Truly, this was a Star War,"
Or she could sing like she does in the holiday special.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
We found some deleted scenes.
We're using footage of Carrie Fisher from 1979 while she's off her chops.
Well, it is funny, isn't it? Because we meet in the original trilogy, we meet Leia first. She's the first character of the big three we meet. Then we meet Luke, and then we meet Han, and that's how they exit. Han, Luke.
Oh,
Leia.
dude, you're blowing my mind.
I've been thinking, you see.
You're blowing my mind, Dale. You're blowing my mind. Yeah. Oh, look. They know how to tug at the heartstrings. Yeah. JJ, I think it's going to be... There's going to be epic stuff and it's going to be scale, but I think ultimately it's going to be the getting you in the heart. That's going to be the thing that, because it's like...
40 years, they've got a lot of heartstrings to pull on, haven't they?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, have you seen Avengers Endgame?
Yeah.
I had a great time with Avengers Endgame. Haven't even really thought about it since I saw it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm not invested in it like I am in Star Wars, but everybody was absolutely going crazy about Avengers Endgame a month and a half ago. Everyone, oh yeah, and they got on with their lives. What's next?
Because there's another 3 in the same year.
Yeah, well, there's also that, but I think this is still Star Wars. It's still different.
Special.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be. And, there is going to be that few years break as well, that we are going to walk out of that cinema. And even though we'll know that there's more, you'll still be like, oh, man, that really, whew. Yeah. There'll be some emotions going around, which is good. That's what you kind of want. Like, I feel like they're going to, they'll land, even if they land 70% of it, every Star Wars movie you walk and go, well, that bit was a bit weird, especially on repeat watchings. Like, first time you're always a bit sort of, you walk out.
Yeah, you're a bit punched, aren't you?
Yeah.
Actually punched.
I mean, I know Last Jedi I definitely was a bit sort of walked down. What the...
Yeah, what was that?
What the heck? Where did that come from? Yeah. So this is going to be a different kind of... Yeah. Because there is going to be some finality.
When JJ says he's taking risks this time around, you've read that?
Yeah.
What do you think that means, given he's not known for being a risky storyteller?
Well, I mean, he's got to end it. For one, which he doesn't usually do. He's like, I'm an ideas man, I set them up, you knock them down. Yeah. So there'll be that. There'll be risks with characters, and I think there'll be risks with bringing people back. I think tying stuff, bringing prequel stuff back in. I think that there'll be risks with that.
That's what I was thinking, because I think to him he thinks that's a risk.
Yeah, which may or may not be a risk, but. I think there'll be, I think the Rey and Kylo stuff's interesting too. I think that could go a number of ways.
Yeah, that's true. That certainly could be risky.
Yeah.
That's a great way to blow up the internet.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. We might see some characters, some relationships develop that we haven't necessarily seen, which is sort of, stuff that you've brought in today that, so you've been brought in, because we like having you on, but we did give a tweet that sort of came out around Pride Month going, hey...
Where's my gays at?
Yeah, where's my gays at? Where's the representation? Some podcasts should get some people on. And you and Michael and Emily all sort of liked that tweet. And I said, well, won't you guys all come on the podcast the next couple of weeks? And the first thing you said, you were like, well, you got one. Where's the other guys? And I said, well, I had 2 guests already lined up. I had to book in. So I think we've still got in under the line a little bit here. But I've still got to reach out to the other guys, and I would love to have them on. So I've just got to...
And I'm a bit closer.
You're a bit closer. Yeah, that's right. So it's just the logistics. So I wanted to make sure that we at least, we got you on. I wanted you to come back on anyway, but you were like, hey, I want to come on, and I've got some things to talk about. And
it's really funny that I think, was it Emily that put that post up first about, podcasters, having some representation?
Yep.
I think it may have been. But I was thinking that same day, okay, so we all love this in-joke about Poe and Finn.
Yeah.
And no one loves it more than Oscar Isaac and John Boyega.
Yeah.
Boyega. They're running with it. But what if it was true?
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be. Don't get me wrong, I'm well aware of that. But what if it was?
But it could be.
Like, we know for the films it changes nothing for us.
Yep.
It's just like, he's still this cool rebel pilot or the,
So you're talking about not necessarily in movie repercussions. Rose is a bit like,
Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah, why didn't you tell me?
I look shit in this outfit?
Yeah, it's just like, I was going through some stuff, I was trying to find my way, not only leaving the First Order, but leaving other things. And, it took, Oscar Isaac to turn my head. But, so you're talking about more like the fandom as a whole.
The community.
Yep. Look, I can't speak for everybody, but when anything happens in Star Wars, one way or the other, you get detractors one way or the other. So if they, Rise of Skywalker comes out and then Poe and Finn have a relationship, a romance, it's not a thing that people, put spins on and, take screen grabs of, of Ezra kind of biting his lip when he's looking at John Boyega, which is always the one that people go to. If it's actually just like, no, they're fully like, it's there on screen and it's, totally, there's no two ways about it. It'll probably, I think it would probably not overshadow, but it would probably want to be one of the biggest talking points of the film when it comes out.
Like, they're not going to be that bold. And one of the things I think, too, is, like, let's face it, Star Wars really doesn't deal with sexuality.
No, I think Steele's always said kissing is sex.
That's right.
Basically.
And in the sequel trilogy, we haven't even had that.
No.
At least there was a romance in the first two trilogies with at least two characters in.
Yeah, so I guess that's what makes the Reylo thing interesting, because it's kind of like, there's obviously a connection, but, is it earned if you put it into a final film? That if you put a romance between, particularly Kylo and Rey, how does that work in the film?
Yeah, but
does it pay? Is it earned? Does it pay off? If people want to ship it and Reylo it up, be my guest, go nuts. But even just thinking about like how where you pick up in the narrative, I suppose, and
it
how it
can't
would
be
work.
anything more than a doomed attraction, really. Like they haven't spent enough time together.
They've spent like barely. I mean,
you would have to start them with some chunk of time where they've been together that we've missed.
Yeah, you'd almost have to get back. Like, have you met my boyfriend Ray? My girlfriend Ray? And like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing now. And it's like Finn's like, have you met my boyfriend Poe? Like, oh, okay, we're really doing this. Okay, well, everyone's just coupled up at the start, and then we're going to go from here. Look, to be honest, the Finn and Poe would be more earned to a degree. They've certainly spent more time together. I guess like the time thing, you just don't really know, do you? When it kind of jumps.
What have we been told? A year?
Yeah, and even then, I think they'll be like, I don't know, we're not really going to commit one way or another. But I mean, if we go down there that path, and it could be any character, but I'm going to use Poe and Finn because it's just easier rather than speculate all these other characters or whatever. If you're seeing in the cinema and you go through, you see Rise of Skywalker, and that is a part of the film. As someone that's really important to you, seeing that represented, does that overshadow the film for you as well, the first viewing? Is that all you're thinking about? You're just like, oh, wow, that's cool, but I've got to process all the big other Star Wars stuff that's going on.
It wouldn't overshadow it for me, but I'll jump around a little bit here. So I went to see Rocket Man.
Oh, yeah.
The other day. Now, this is a story about Elton John.
Yep.
And there was people in the audience that walked out like groaning, oh, well, I didn't need that sex scene. I didn't need to see that.
Oh, too gay.
It is like 5 seconds. It's just a kiss. There's no nudity. You're like, what did you think you were coming to see? Really?
But they probably all went to, what's his face, Freddie Mercury movie as well, didn't they? Like, surely all those people fronted up for both of those.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. Like,
I always think of the joke in Austin Powers when he wakes up and he's like, I can't believe Liberace was gay. I mean, women loved him. Was it good, though?
Yeah, it was quite good. I enjoyed Bohemian Rhapsody better, but it was a good story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
good music.
That's a movie, like you said, for most people go in and kind of know the score. Yeah. No surprises there. But obviously...
I think that's what I would hate about it is, like, Star Wars has always been a safe place.
Yep.
I would hate for that to be, something that was no longer a safe space.
What do you mean when you say safe space, though?
Because I tell you what, I did a little research before coming on here, and I got onto YouTube.
You're very good at your research.
You know I love research.
I know. Last time you came in, you did research too. This is the research master.
one of the great YouTube videos I saw was, you know who John Campier is? The guy that used to do Collider quite a long time ago. He was the host of Collider.
I don't really know my YouTubers. It does sound... Yeah. I do recognise the name vaguely, yes.
Yeah, they did Jedi Council. So he was like the first guy that headed that up.
He's not the dude who wanted the tickets to Galaxy's Edge. No. Okay. That's my go-to.
But he's got his own channel now, and he ran a sort of thing about whatever Star Wars character was gay.
Oh, okay, yep.
And you only have to go on to the
cesspool of the comments,
which I never look at.
Yeah.
You know, and...
curiosity got the better of you. Like, I must do my research.
Yeah, I just thought, what's this all about? And it was like hundreds and hundreds of comments, like... Yeah. And do you know, like, the internet to me, like, Facebook is kind of like, I don't know, birth, deaths, and weddings or something.
Yeah.
And then, like, Instagram is like the social pages.
Yeah.
And Twitter is letters to the editor. It's the complaint column, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is to a point, but you can actually send it directly to the person. You know, most complaint columns just hope that that craft, read that your cheese slices aren't as nice as they used to be or something. I don't know why I went to that. But, but this is like, I'm just going to go directly to them, and if they don't respond, I'll just continually keep going as well. Meanwhile, they're talking about something else.
But there was a common thing in there, in the comments, which was that Disney's pushing a gay agenda. Now, this whole conversation started because JJ was saying that he thinks it's improbable that there's not gay characters in Star Wars.
Yep.
Because there's...
Well, there is, just not in the films.
And so it became this Disney's gay agenda. Like, Disney has this women agenda as well.
Yep.
They're right. There is an agenda. It's called equality.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's nothing more to it than that.
Yeah.
But it seems to piss a lot of people off.
But it's kind of like, we wanted more women and there weren't enough. And then they go, so what are you going to do with that information now? Like, well, it's your agenda. It's like, yeah, we know. We just told you we wanted to get more women in because there weren't enough. Okay, well, at least I'm right. It's like, well, yeah, you're right, I guess. Yeah. Good on you.
But even, like, statistically, like, you look at the, population statistics of male, female, gay, straight, whatever. Like, it's actually underrepresented for women.
Still underrepresented. Well, that whole... I saw a chart of, like, the times a woman talks in a Star Wars movie, and it's just like this much, this much, this much. I think Last Jedi is just like the only one where I think it's close to 50%, for a film, Were you surprised, or were you kind of like, this is pretty much I expected?
I tend to think the best of people. But then I do realise that there's a lot of people, not just baby boomers, but a lot of people who really don't like seeing the world change around them, and it's difficult for them. Yep. And it's like...
There's that argument of like, this is my escape. Don't ruin Star Wars. It's my escape.
Oh, Josh, some of the comments, like, you just have to... Like, I actually did get a bit of a chuckle out of the bullshit.
Yeah.
A couple of them, because you have to, but, like... Look, I don't care what they do, but as long as they don't kiss, I have to watch them kiss.
Ew.
Yeah.
I'll have to spit out my popcorn.
I'm going to get germs.
Yeah, there is no kissing, is there, in the sequel trilogy? Is there? The Leia and Han don't kiss, do they? They kind of have a little hug. Finn and Rose kiss at the end of Last Jedi.
That's a peck on the cheek, though, isn't it?
I have to double check. I have to check my research. But,
Yeah, everything seems to be based around it's a family film. Do you know what I mean? And, like, so therefore, we don't want degenerate sort of stuff or even women in our family films.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that. That's just ridiculous. I mean, people watch, like, Modern Family and stuff like that, like, not that I don't watch Modern Family, but I got the gist. One of the most popular shows, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's got the gay Captain Holtz talking about his husband all the time. Like, it's...
But not Star Wars.
But not Star Wars. Like, what's the difference? I find that sort of ridiculous. But it's just it's an argument where you would never win. You'd never win them over. It's kind of like talking to a brick wall. It's kind of
absolutely.
It doesn't make any difference. And the thing is, it's like they're complaining now. If Finn and Poe kiss in Rise of Skywalker, they'll complain then just as much as they complained before. And the difference is that, you got a gay couple. Yeah. They're still complaining one way or the other.
Look, it's going to happen eventually, and there's going to be nowhere for these kind of ignorant people to go.
No,
because
but they've already
made their mind TV
up.
shows or movies for them, but because of that gay agenda.
Yeah, that crazy agenda.
Because Hollywood's full of gay people that are trying to normalise their abnormal lives.
Yeah, because as far as characters go, like
is Dr. Aphra.
Dr. Aphra is the big one that I know, and I go, oh yeah, because I read the comics and I read her comic, and she sort of is this sort of got this on and off again Imperial officer that she has this relationship with, and they always kind of can't get it together, and she'll cause this trouble, and then the Imperials will turn up, and it's just like her, and she's like, oh my god, it's you again, but then they're secretly just kind of like, yes, it's them again, and it's really nice. There's actually this isn't the same, but there's actually like an interspecies couple in the comics, which is really good. So it's like a human, but it's like and his wife is like a lizard creature kind of thing.
Well, they do it in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. I know it's not quite the same thing, but it's kind of like, I've never seen that sort of. And they're just like it's a really sweet. They're like this sweet married. They're a couple of bounty hunters, and they're just they got this really kind of sweet. Well,
Holdo was written like that she was very open, in the Layer of Alderaan book.
Oh really? Oh really? So
it's a backstory.
Holdo's out.
Yeah, it's a backstory. She's very, open, shall we say?
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Interspecies.
Oh right, anything goes.
Yeah,
because they've kind of. I know that like when Solo came out, one of the writers was like, oh yeah, Lando is probably a bit like people are like, don't just say it, dude. Like, show it. I mean, it's kind of implied that him and L3 have done something, but who can blame you? Like that L3. Have you seen Fleabag?
I haven't.
We watched Fleabag recently with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who plays L3. It's fantastic. Yeah. And then you go, geez, L3's all right. Because she's sort of, she's quite sassy in Fleabag as well. So she's amazing.
I love a Star Wars
It's kind of wasted because she wrote Fleabag and it's just great. You're like, oh, that's great that she was in a Star Wars. Like, get her to write a Star Wars. Like, she could just do something awesome.
She wrote that Killing Eve.
Yeah, she's great. Like, I hope
she's pretty.
She had a good time on. Yeah, I don't know, but I think she's got a real good sort of sense of humor as well too. Like, I think you could do it. Like, why not?
Yeah,
bring in some Phoebe Waller-Bridge in a Star Wars. Yeah, so Aphra, I think is probably the most high profile. As far as like, she's got her own comic series. She's got her own action figure.
She's going great, isn't she?
They should move her to TV. I think...
Well, that being an archaeologist, it's a great... You could see that being a really great format for an hour-long, 10 episodes
The Holdo one's very interesting, yeah. So, I mean, let's just say, you get to the end of Rise of Skywalker. There's no Finn and Poe match-up. Maybe there's a... it's the GIF thing again. There's a kind of you can go, oh, maybe there's something going on there. You get at the end like, all right, well... Skywalker saga has no openly gay couples or anything like that. But we're going to have a bunch of TV shows.
Yeah.
I feel like TV is probably, as far as like, I don't even want to say climatizing or adapting people, or I don't want to say sneaking in. It seems like it's, but you know what I mean? Like having those characters, you could easily have gay characters in The Mandalorian and it would probably be a quicker sell or an easier sell.
It's more digestible for...
Yeah. Whether it's the Pedro Pascal, like the Mandalorian could be...
Yeah, they're also not... they seem to be... Well, Mando anyway seems to be very adult focused, so...
Yeah, well, like you said, it doesn't even need to... But I think, like you said, if people are like, oh, it's a family thing, it's like, well, Mandalorian does skew more adult, and basically what I've seen, just like, well, you could actually quite easily go down that road. I don't know whether more adult means that even the film... If the thing is like more adult, it's like, hey, I'm sure they're totally happy if it's more violent. Like, no worries, give me more violence in my Star Wars. I want to see some blood. That would upset me if it got too violent. Star Wars, like, I wouldn't want to be watching a Star Wars and have the violence where like a Game of Thrones, where I'm kind of like, oh
god, no. Yeah,
I don't care if it's on TV or not.
There's certain elements that need to be retained for it to be Star Warsy.
Yeah. So I think Pedro Pascal's character in Game of Thrones was bisexual, I think. So...
Well, Game of Thrones were...
Game of Thrones. Well, that's the thing also. Goes. It's like anything goes in Game of Thrones. People are loving their Game of Thrones. I mean, obviously, I guess that does skew more adult. But at the same time, I think Mandalorian would probably be
it's probably a good place to introduce it, and because like who cares, like, but the backlash for something like a main Skywalker film,
yeah.
You could just imagine it's not all going to be positive.
But would you given the choice, do you care either way? We're just like, I'd actually, personally, for me, seeing it, representing, get stand up and clap. Would you rather be sitting in a cinema seeing that rather than sitting on the couch?
I'll be really honest with you. I can't imagine it at all. I'm so used to being not represented.
Not represented.
Unless it's some really like stereotypical screaming sort of character that
I think we've moved a little bit past that now.
Yeah, we have.
Especially when I was talking about like someone like Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, who's just completely not what you'd expect. I don't know if you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine or not, but
no, I've not seen it.
He's just like the police captain. He's just like this sort of older black guy. And in the first episode, he takes over the precinct. And he's just like, my name is Captain Holt. I'm here to, and then one of the people goes, oh, isn't he giving up a gay vibe? It's like a joke being like, he's just the straightest guy ever. And then he just casually drops, he's just like, yes, I'm gay. Couldn't you tell? I feel like I'm just giving off this total gay vibe, So it's actually quite, they play on that. And like in the show, his husband's in the show. It's all,
But do you think that like geek culture's lagging behind in representation in general? Because you're not having people screaming and yelling that there's too many females in, Game of Thrones or, but that's more sci-fi comic book element seems to have a bit of, there's that infantile sort of.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say because my geek, I guess comics are a lot better.
Yeah. Like all our buddies are all cool. Well,
that's the thing. It depends on who you mix with as well.
That's right.
Like I said, I don't sort of follow. I don't read comments. I don't follow this sort of the wider stuff. So I'm kind of like, it's fine. Like people get outraged about everything. I think there was supposed to be a gay character on My Little Pony, and some people lost their mind or something, which is great. My daughter likes My Little Pony, so like if she brings up, I'm like, yeah, some people like girls, some people like boys, even some people like ponies. Yeah. So I don't know. Comics are probably getting better. Like people like Batwoman, which is coming out. She's openly gay, and I saw the trailer for that, and she was trying to save her ex-girlfriend or partner and stuff, and that was quite just like there.
Did you ever watch the reboot of Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah.
I thought they handled that really well because it was just never commented on.
Yeah.
And there was a follow-up series called Caprica.
Yeah, I never watched that. I think I tried and I never really saw it.
Yeah, it was, I really enjoyed it, but it's not to everyone's taste.
Yep.
But there was like gangsters and things in it. And again, it was just part of the world and never mentioned or highlighted.
Yep.
Which I think is the most awesome way to do
it. Which I kind of feel like that if they did that in, like in The Mandalorian,
exactly.
you'd probably get away with it.
Yeah.
Not that I honestly don't give a shit if someone backlashes. Like I said, if Finn and Poe are a couple in Rise of Skywalker, I don't care as long as it feels like it's, the journey is there and it happens and you get there and it doesn't just feel like, oh, that came out of nowhere, which, if you look back, you're like, well, it could reasonably happen. I don't really care if someone gets outraged. Like, who cares? Too bad. It's there. It's happened.
That's right. Deal with it. Because you're going to, if Star Wars gets left behind, then it becomes that old dinosaur of a. Because people are demanding to see themselves, and that's what JJ did so well. Like the Black Stormtrooper. Remember that bullshit?
Yeah.
Like what the hell? And then
not commented on there anymore.
Exactly. It's moved past. Now we're on to other things.
Yeah.
And then even like Latino actor.
Yep.
A female lead, even a female Jedi.
Yeah.
That was so cool. How many little girls, like when you see them dressed up as Rey, how cool does that look?
Yeah.
And
we got one in the house.
Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's for sure. And Rey has had a massive effect on my daughter. Like she knows Rey. She's too little to watch the movies, but she knows who Rey is. You came in the lounge room and there was a Rey doll sitting on.
Seen the evidence.
Yeah, seen the evidence lying there. And she wants to watch those Galaxy of Adventures comics that are on Star Wars Kids. Like she just likes watching the Princess Leia ones and the Rey ones and the Forces of Destiny. Like people are like, ooh, Forces of Destiny is like no man, that's her Star Wars.
The gateway drug.
It's the gateway drug. Yeah, and it's great. So,
but even like you think back to the original trilogy, it's like Leia was fantastic.
Yeah.
But
she's the only
one. If you wanted
one,
to dress up as a Star Wars character, you only had one.
Yeah, exactly. And I was sort of looking over at the War of the Black series, and I'm kind of looking over there now, and there's Rose and Kira and Leia, and I've got 3 Reys up there. There's 2 Phasmas. There's a Rose. There's a Jyn Erso. There's a few on there. I don't want to sort of go like, I've got girls on my wall, but the characters have jumped. There's not just Leia, on there anymore. It's sort of, you go back to the vintage line. It's Leia in Hoth.
Yeah.
Leia. Was there even a Mon Mothma toy? I don't know. No, she never got one. Oh. Dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's what inclusive means.
Yep.
It's welcoming to kids, and they can see themselves. They can dress up. They can play. They can,
So it doesn't. I mean, like you said, we're using sort of Poe and Finn as an example, but we've got a whole bunch of new characters that are coming in. There's Kerry Russell's character and Jaina. Just I can't remember. I always forget the other.
Do you think she could be in that TIE fighter that Rey's?
I think anybody. I still think it's. I think
it's training.
Nah, I don't think it's training. I think she's. Yeah, I liked when Tracy was on. She was sort of going, "Yeah, she's training. It's not like she's not ready, but she's keeping sharp. She's like a professional athlete who's who trains a few times a week, kind of thing, to do her skills. But I don't know. I kind of like the idea that she's facing something down, and it's peril. There's proper peril there.
I can see a lightsaber slicing through
that.
I
would be a bit sort
cockpit.
of. To be honest, if that kind of went down and she just jumped on the top and she's like, "Wow, well done, I did it," I think I'd be like, I want to see her slice that freaking. Like I want to see her get there and grind the lightsaber through the wing and have it fly off into hit the side of a.
Because that whole lightsaber slicing through a ship was what part of the concept art of Force Awakens, and JJ's gone back to all those original
the
concepts,
Death Star under the water and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. Like I'd like to see that pay off if we're being teased. Like, I know that there's selective editing and all that kind of stuff.
Well, remember Rogue One when the TIE fighter comes up to face her? And it's like
And then we never saw it.
So.
Yeah, that one had a bit more of a sort of a colourful production history, I suppose.
It did, didn't it?
And you just want to know more. Like, I want to know everything that happened on those.
Yeah, well, those I can't remember the author's name, the big hardcover making of books.
Oh, yeah,
from the original trilogy that really get into like arguments on set.
Just like
lot. It's
Carrie
brilliant.
Fisher's gone missing or hasn't turned up. She was out like with the Rolling Stones, and we're wondering where she is. It's like
we're never going to get them for forever.
Yeah, eventually, I hope. Maybe after this, people. I think
that's to protect the creatives that.
Yeah, I can see why it's still going
or whatever, but you don't.
Eventually, people are going to blab.
Yeah,
people are going to blab, and same with the Solo one too. Like you kind of want to know what went down on Solo as well, and
sometimes people consider that gossipy. I just see it as I'm fascinated by how film works and.
There was just great stories.
And these alternate sort of stories that what it was going to be and what it ended up being.
Yeah. Well, I think they're doing a comic for the Spider-Man 4 that got canned.
I heard that,
Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4 that didn't get made in the end. They're like, we can take the scripts that exist, we'll turn a copy. Even that's kind of like, ooh, that's interesting. I can just see where that goes. You really go, oh, geez, glad they didn't make that into a movie. It would have really sucked. Or, oh, that's a bummer. That would have been really cool.
Well, Dark Horse did that with George Lucas's first draft.
Oh, yeah. I've read those. Yeah. And they're bloody hard. They're hard work.
Did you follow it?
Oh, kind of. Yeah, it was tricky.
It's probably one of the first comics I haven't been able to follow. It was pretty dense.
Yeah, can you imagine if you were just like the head of a studio and someone gave you that and it was like, I've got this space, I've got this space movie that I'm working on. You're just running going, what the frig is going on in this thing?
Well, that's why so many people turned it down.
Yeah.
And it really is only because of American Graffiti that...
Yeah, they gave him a shot.
I think
he did like another 10 drafts or something after that. There's some crazy bunch of drafts, but yeah.
There's so much luck involved, isn't there?
It's crazy how much luck's involved. So anything else in the notes that you bring up
really.
here?
I was just sort of, pondering on, if anyone would bring in a bit more inclusivity, it is JJ, because I think we've got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
Because he has been really mindful of that.
Yeah. Do you feel like he's more you think he's more bulletproof than Rian Johnson? I think he obviously is more bulletproof than Rian Johnson.
Absolutely.
That if he did it, it'd be harder. I mean, I think people would still criticise, but I mean, they just go after Rian Johnson for anything because there's just some dude who
Ruin Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like that you can't, who doesn't know anything about Star Wars? It's like, well, no, dude, he already made Force Awakens. He's already got this sort of pedigree. You can't. It's harder to.
I think he's got more runs on the board in like TV, other films.
Yeah.
He hasn't made a huge amount of films, and they haven't been the most original.
Yeah.
But he hasn't. But
he's got that. He's got that. Yeah, exactly. And he's got that very sort of audience sensibility. You know what an audience like and stuff. So it would be. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be any more accepted by the people who aren't going to accept it anyway. But it would have more clout coming from a J.J. Abrams, I think.
I think so too. But
at the same time, you're kind of going, well, Rian Johnson probably could have just done it and it wouldn't have mattered because they would have hated it. It would have just been another thing. Like,
how amazing! Like, we're still talking about Last Jedi. Everyone's still talking about it.
I know, it's nuts, isn't it? Like, this thing
Solo's come and gone. And
yeah, well, that was what I was saying with Matt last week. We were obviously talking about, this is ridiculous that we're talking about it 18 months after the movie's out and there's another one coming. And we were talking about going like, will Rise of Skywalker, can it manifest that, even if it's not very good, can it manifest that this beacon for people to sort of concentrate on? And I'm like, I don't know whether you can. I think it was a very specific time of, if the same things happen again, you're kind of like, well, it's just more of the same. I don't know. Well, that's why I kind of feel like is JJ more bulletproof? Like, does it matter? I feel like there'll be.
But what's he got to do to get all the ticks? He's got to give us Rey's backstory, because that's one of the frustrations.
Yeah, it depends who you ask. Everybody's got their own. Like, I would be completely fine if we got to the end of Episode 9 and Rey is still. I don't know any more about her than I did.
Yeah, I would be too.
Like, if she's fulfilled her own destiny and she's walking the path and she's the Jedi or whatever she is at the end, people are going, she'll take the name Skywalker or whatever she is. She defeats evil at the end, which she should do. She's the hero. I will be completely satisfied. I don't need them to go, well, the reason you're doing this is because actually Obi-Wan Kenobi was your grandfather, or we cloned you from this, or you're Palpatine's daughter, or whatever, all the wacky sort of things. I don't need that. I'd probably be more. I think we were talking about the Leia thing. I think Kylo. What happens to Kylo? Again, that depends on people. Some people are like, he's got to pay. Some people are like, he can't go good. Someone's like, well, he's got to be good, but then he's got to die saving someone.
It doesn't matter how it's done, as long as it's done well. Really, that's a 50-50. But speaking of gay, you know what I do want? Snoke's backstory.
Is that because he wears that nice gold...
That sweet gold robe.
Gold robe.
With the slippers.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even need that. I think they'll be moved on from Snoke from there. We'll get it in a book.
I don't need a lot. I just need to know how he's connected to Palpatine. I mean, I'm going to be pissed off if Palpatine's if he's not in it, not at least a strong plot point.
Yeah. Oh, look, there'll be, I don't know. I can't make these stones. It's like, yes, there will be this. I'm not sure. I feel like Snoke, they've moved past Snoke. Maybe he'll be referenced as far as like, I had my puppet do my bidding.
That's all I need.
All that kind of thing. Like, I always kind of like the theory that I always thought that Snoke was like a wealthy industrialist. Like, he was like almost like a Rupert Murdoch type. Like, he was actually a very famous rich person that, was sort of known around the galaxy because everyone kind of knows him because like Leia's like, Snoke did it. We know, it's Snoke.
That's when you go to the prequels. That's what Dooku was.
Yeah, he was someone who was known in the galaxy.
He was one of the richest men in the galaxy, funding two armies.
Yeah, so I always kind of like the idea that Snoke, he was this rich sort of dude who possibly got involved helping rebuild the Jedi. And then he could basically just rock up whenever he wanted because he was basically just like, well, I can go in. I'll bankroll this thing. I'll get them all. I'll help out, and then I'll basically just when the time is right, I can just walk in. I can go and stick, whisper into Ben Solo's ear and get him to do what I want. And I've been dark side all along, and that would kind of make more sense of how he could. People know who he is, how he can come in and out and do what he wants. why he's got all this resource, the head of the First Order, why he's at the top of it. He might just be like, hey, I found these wacky Imperial remnants out on the Outer Rim. I gave them some money and got them to militarize and organize a little bit better. And I can basically just from in here coordinate, and when they're ready, I'll bring them in. And now I'm in charge. You know, what are you going to do? I'm Snoke. I'm in charge now. I got a whole army. You can't stop me.
And you could pretty much do that backstory in a sentence if you did it well.
Yeah, you could. Yep, that's very true. So yeah, okay, that's fine. But I don't know. I don't know. How do you wind it all up? Do you have to go back to, Anakin and all you sort of go back to the start? I think to go to the end. Maybe if they use
the Emperor as the through line.
Well, he is. I mean, that's why it kind of makes sense because he's the sort of, if he does show up at the end, he's the constant threat all the way through. Where it's just like, well, actually, he's the one all along that's involved in this, and he's the one that's been pulling the strings.
Grand
and
puppet master.
Yeah, even in death, there's contingency plans, and he's done something at this point to sort of, finally wipe it out. Like maybe it's kind of like, well, the Jedi have never really gone. He's never really managed to get rid of them. There's one left now. Luke was kind of there for a bit. We didn't manage to get rid of Luke. Then he brought on a whole bunch more of them. We managed to get rid of a bunch of those. We managed to get rid of Luke. We think we've got this done. There's one girl left who's standing between us and finishing the job, totally getting rid of all of them. Maybe Palpatine finally got what he wanted. There's no more Jedis. Maybe that's got something to do with that, perhaps. I don't know. We'll know in... Jeez, not long.
Speculation,
but that's what speculation's all about.
It's fun. That's the fun of Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. We get a bit of that, and we get a bit of Finn and Poe,
and a bit of fun as well. You see those sort of look like skiffs that they're, and there's. I
want to see some fun. I want to see some
stormtroopers or whatever they are. That just looks like it's going to be.
I still want wackiness. Fun. I want 3PO on the back of the thing going, falling off, and he's dagging off these. They're grabbing him by the leg or. Give me that all day.
And I think that new slug character is going to be a little bit of fun as well. It can't not be.
With the little wheelie robot?
No, not the wheelie robot. There's a big, slug thing, which they've only shown a little bit of.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with him is.
Yeah.
But again, I guess it's kind of like, well, he could just be there in the corner.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You don't really know until you know. Yeah. I don't even know when the next trailer's due. November, maybe? That's usually when it sort of happens, isn't it?
Yeah, then you can't get away from it. Then you've got to hide from all the endless TV spots that
then
end
it's
up giving you 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, well, that's where I draw the line. Like trailer and then TV spots, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Any other business here before we kick it home? We just burnt through time. It's just...
I can talk.
Well, actually, before we do sign off, you've got a little project in the works, speaking of you talking.
Dipping our toes into... When I say ours, Michael Szabo, my buddy and myself.
Former guest, second ever guest on this podcast, which means he's well overdue to come back, actually.
Yeah. He's always got something to say about Star Wars, which is good. So we've started a podcast ourselves.
Stop crowding in on our turf, buddy.
Do you know what we thought? We had a really good talk and we thought, the world needs another Star Wars podcast with two 40-something-year-old guys. It's just...
At least you're slightly more diverse. At least you got, slightly something.
We're trying to work angles, but... so we just wanted to do it for a little bit of fun, and we thought we would follow a book. So we're doing Claudia Gray's Master and Apprentice, and we do 4 chapters an episode, and then relate things to what's happening in that chapter. Like they might mention the Jedi Council, so we'll do a deeper dive into that and talk about the members and the history.
Yep.
And we're having a few guests, trying to make it really inclusive and fun and diverse. So we've got a Rebel Legion coming on to talk about costuming and all their great work. And
great.
That episode would be about looking at the costumes in more detail from the prequels and so a bit of this, a bit of that.
Great. Well, it's got a name. Hang on, I was going to say it's got a name. I did the bloody logo for it. I should know it's got a name.
Logo. Thank you very much, Josh.
Well, we haven't critiqued it yet. There could be some notes.
It's going to be called. It's a Star Wars podcast, but it's true, all of it.
Look at that.
Every Star Wars idea for a podcast name has gone.
Hey, does it fit in a Twitter handle? Have you checked yet?
didn't think of that.
Oh, that's all right. You can always abbreviate it.
True.
It's True Podcast or something like that.
Yeah,
don't worry.
that's true.
There are always around this thing. Great. Well, we'll promote the hell out of that when it comes,
thank you, Josh.
and we'll want everyone to
It'll
download.
need promoting.
Hey, look, you can be plugging away for a long time, and we've been slowly building on this.
I caught
which
up
has
with
been
our
good.
mate Catherine on Friday night, and I said to her, God, you and Josh, you guys just make it look so easy. That first episode's, God, that's...
Yeah. I haven't gone back and
rough as
listened to the
fuck.
first one, actually. The thing I was just go, the audio quality is not as good.
Okay.
That's the thing that bugs me. I should probably go back and re-listen. I haven't done that, but who's got time?
That's true.
Keep
Keep them coming. And
them coming. Just worrying about the next one. When you've got guests every week, you just go, who have I got the next one? We've got the next one. But we'll get there. Thanks for coming in, mate.
Oh, thanks for having me. Thanks for the gifts. I'll come anytime I get gifts.
Well, you'll have to wait till your next birthday, I suppose. Or well, we'll make sure that if there is merch for Celebration next year, that you get it up front. You won't have to. We'll put one aside. You don't have to worry about months after the fact that you're missing out. But do you want to plug socials or anything like that?
No, you can find me on Twitter and all the usuals. I dip in and out.
They're lurking on the YouTube comments.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is it Dale Williams 1?
Dale Stewart something.
Way off.
Dale Stewart Will 1.
Wow, there you go. Did everybody get that? We'll put it. It'll be in the show notes anyway. Don't worry. You can find our stuff at StarWarsSpelledOut.com. TeePublic, you can actually search Star Wars Spelled Out on TeePublic and find our stuff now. Apparently, we just weren't in the... You have to tell them that you want to be in the search results, which is slightly baffling. But now we're searchable. I think you have to make it one word. And then as soon as we were searchable, we got a cease and desist from Guns N' Roses to take our Obi-Wan's and Roses t-shirt off. I think I could probably repost it and just take the Guns N' Roses tag off and they wouldn't know. I think they just instantly... anything that's not officially them, they just pull off.
So now you've got a Guns N' Roses story.
I've got Axel coming after me.
Exactly.
Oh, dear. All right. Thanks a lot, mate.
Cheers, Josh.
We'll see you soon.